Welcome to an exploration of two of history's most distinct female roles, ladies and prostitutes. Throughout centuries, these categories shaped not only women's lives but also the structure of society itself. Today, we'll dive into how economic dependence, social expectations, and the absence of birth control carved out these separate paths for women. By understanding the historical context, we can better grasp the freedoms and constraints each role offered and why neither was inherently superior. Let's begin by looking at the roots of these roles and how they defined women's options in a world where survival often depended on male provision. Historically, women's lives were largely defined by two primary roles, the lady and the prostitute. Ladies were typically wives expected to reserve sex for marriage and prioritize family stability. Prostitutes, on the other hand, exchanged sexual access for immediate resources, often out of necessity. These roles weren't just social labels, they represented survival strategies in a world where women had limited economic power. The absence of birth control and the dangers of childbirth made male provision essential, further entrenching these distinct pathways. Understanding these definitions is key to appreciating the economic and social forces at play. Women's economic dependence on men was a driving force behind these roles. Without independent means of earning a living, most women relied on marriage for long-term provision or prostitution for short-term survival. This dependence wasn't just about money, it was about security, social status, and even physical safety. The lack of birth control meant that sex could easily lead to pregnancy, making the stakes even higher. As a result, women's choices were often constrained by the need to secure a reliable provider, shaping the landscape of female roles for generations. For many women, marriage was the primary means of securing long-term provision. Becoming a lady meant prioritizing sex within marriage, often waiting until a suitable provider was found. This role came with its own set of expectations and constraints, including fidelity, domestic responsibilities, and social respectability. While marriage offered stability, it also limited women's autonomy in significant ways. The trade-off between security and freedom was a constant theme in the lives of ladies throughout history. Women unable or unwilling to secure marriage, prostitution offered an alternative path. By exchanging sex for immediate resources, prostitutes navigated a different set of risks and rewards. This role often came with social stigma, legal dangers, and physical risks, but it also provided a degree of autonomy not available to most married women. The choice between these roles was rarely simple, and each came with its own set of freedoms and constraints. Absence of reliable birth control and the dangers associated with childbirth played a crucial role in shaping women's options. Every sexual encounter carried the risk of pregnancy, making the need for male provision even more pressing. This reality reinforced the importance of marriage as a means of securing support, while also making prostitution a risky but sometimes necessary alternative. These biological and social factors combined to create a landscape where women's choices were heavily influenced by their need for security. Both roles, lady and prostitute, offered different kinds of freedoms and constraints. Ladies enjoyed social respectability and long-term security, but often at the cost of personal autonomy and sexual freedom. Prostitutes, meanwhile, had more control over their immediate circumstances but faced social stigma and instability. Neither role was inherently better, each reflected the economic and social realities of its time. Understanding these trade-offs helps us appreciate the complexity of women's historical experiences. Historically, there was significant animosity between ladies and prostitutes. This tension was rooted in economic competition and social judgment. Ladies often viewed prostitutes as threats to the stability of marriage and family, while prostitutes resented the social privileges enjoyed by married women. These feelings weren't just personal, they reflected broader societal dynamics and the struggle for resources and respect. Competition between ladies and prostitutes was fundamentally economic. Both groups relied on men for resources, but in different ways. Ladies sought long-term provision through marriage, while prostitutes exchanged sex for immediate compensation. This competition created tension as each group's success could undermine the other's position. The result was a complex web of rivalry and resentment that shaped social attitudes for generations. Social judgment played a major role in maintaining the divide between ladies and prostitutes. Ladies were often seen as respectable and virtuous, while prostitutes were stigmatized and marginalized. These judgments reinforced the boundaries between the two roles, making it difficult for women to move between them. The fear of social ostracism was a powerful force, shaping women's choices and limiting their options. Despite their animosity, ladies and prostitutes were deeply interdependent. Prostitutes provided men with access to sex outside of marriage, which in turn made the role of the lady viable. Without prostitutes, men might have been less willing to commit to marriage, undermining the stability of the family unit. This interdependency created a delicate balance in the sexual marketplace, with each role supporting the existence of the other. Sexual marketplace was shaped by the interplay between ladies and prostitutes. Ladies sold sex for lifetime provision, while prostitutes offered it for immediate compensation. This created a spectrum of options for men and women, with each role occupying a different place in the market. The dynamics of supply and demand influenced not only individual choices, but also broader social norms and expectations. Key difference between ladies and prostitutes was the price and valuation of sexual opportunity. Ladies exchanged sex for a lifetime of provision, while prostitutes received immediate compensation. This distinction reflected not only economic realities but also social values. The way society valued these roles influenced everything from marriage customs to legal systems, shaping the lives of women and men alike. Dr. Tabin uses economic analogies to illustrate the competition between ladies and prostitutes. He compares ladies to Michelin star restaurants, offering exclusivity and long-term value, while prostitutes are likened to taco trucks, providing immediate satisfaction at a lower price. These analogies help clarify the market dynamics at play, showing how different strategies appeal to different needs and preferences. Sexual marketplace is highly competitive, with ladies and prostitutes vying for different forms of male investment. This competition prevents a simple, uniform approach to female sexuality and social roles. Instead, it creates a diverse landscape where women must navigate complex choices, balancing immediate needs against long-term goals. The result is a constantly shifting market, shaped by economic, social, and personal factors. Not all women can or want to be ladies, making a unified coalition impossible. Differences in personal circumstances, values, and opportunities mean that women pursue different strategies in the sexual marketplace. This diversity is both a strength and a challenge, reflecting the complexity of human relationships and social structures. Realities of the sexual marketplace are shaped by more than just economics. Social norms, cultural values, and legal systems all play a role in defining what is acceptable and desirable. These factors influence not only individual choices but also the broader structure of society, creating a dynamic interplay between personal agency and social constraint. Over time, social norms around female sexuality and economic dependence have evolved. Changes in laws, technology, and cultural attitudes have opened up new possibilities for women, challenging the old dichotomy between ladies and prostitutes. However, the legacy of these roles continues to shape expectations and opportunities in subtle ways. The advent of reliable birth control marked a turning point in women's lives. For the first time, women could separate sex from reproduction, gaining greater control over their bodies and futures. This shift weakened the economic rationale for marriage and prostitution, allowing women to pursue new roles and relationships. As women gained access to education and employment, economic independence became increasingly attainable. This shift transformed the sexual marketplace, reducing the need for women to rely on marriage or prostitution for survival. With new opportunities came new challenges as women navigated the complexities of balancing work, relationships, and personal fulfillment. Today, relationships are shaped by a wider range of choices and expectations. While the old categories of lady and prostitute still exist in some form, many women now pursue alternative paths, from career-focused independence to non-traditional partnerships. The diversity of modern relationships reflects the ongoing evolution of social norms and economic realities. Despite progress, stigmas around female sexuality and economic dependence persist. Women who deviate from traditional roles may still face judgment or discrimination, highlighting the enduring power of social norms. Addressing these stigmas requires ongoing dialogue and a willingness to challenge outdated assumptions. Economic pressures continue to influence women's choices in the modern world. While opportunities have expanded, many women still face challenges related to income inequality, job security, and work-life balance. These pressures can shape decisions about marriage, relationships, and even sex work, demonstrating the ongoing relevance of economic factors. Sex work remains a controversial topic, with debates about legality, morality, and personal autonomy. For some women, sex work offers financial independence and flexibility. For others, it is a last resort. The diversity of experiences within sex work reflects broader social and economic trends, as well as ongoing struggles for rights and recognition. Marriage has been redefined in many societies, with greater emphasis on partnership, equality, and personal fulfillment. While economic considerations still play a role, many couples now prioritize shared values and mutual support. This shift reflects broader changes in gender roles and expectations, as well as the impact of economic independence. Women today enjoy greater freedom of choice than ever before. Whether pursuing marriage, career, or alternative lifestyles, women have more options and agency. This freedom is the result of centuries of social, economic, and technological change, and it continues to evolve as new challenges and opportunities arise. Despite progress, women still face significant challenges. Issues like gender-based violence, discrimination, and unequal access to resources remain widespread. Addressing these challenges requires collective action and a commitment to equality, both within families and across society as a whole. Women's experiences are shaped by a range of factors, including race, class, sexuality, and more. Intersectionality highlights the ways in which different forms of oppression and privilege intersect, creating unique challenges and opportunities for each individual. Recognizing this complexity is essential for understanding the full picture of women's lives. Roles of ladies and prostitutes and the economic dynamics behind them vary widely across cultures and historical periods. What holds true in one society may be very different in another. Exploring global perspectives helps us appreciate the diversity of women's experiences and the many ways in which economic and social factors shape their lives. Studying the historical roles of ladies and prostitutes offers valuable lessons for today. By understanding the economic and social forces that shape these roles, we can better appreciate the progress that has been made and the work that remains. History reminds us that change is possible, but also that old patterns can persist in new forms. Applying economic theories to the sexual marketplace helps clarify why certain roles emerged and persisted. Concepts like supply and demand, opportunity cost, and market segmentation all play a part in explaining the choices available to women and men. These theories provide a framework for understanding the complex interplay between economics and social norms. Technology has always influenced women's roles, from the invention of birth control to the rise of the internet. Today, technology continues to reshape the sexual marketplace, offering new ways to connect, earn a living, and express identity. These changes bring both opportunities and challenges as women navigate a rapidly evolving landscape. Media plays a powerful role in shaping perceptions of ladies, prostitutes, and the sexual marketplace. From literature to film, these roles are often depicted in ways that reflect and reinforce social norms. Critical engagement with media can help challenge stereotypes and promote a more nuanced understanding of women's experiences. Laws and regulations have a significant impact on women's roles and choices. From marriage laws to the criminalization of sex work, legal frameworks shape the boundaries of acceptable behavior and influence economic opportunities. Understanding these frameworks is essential for anyone interested in social change. Cultural narratives about ladies and prostitutes are deeply embedded in language, art, and tradition. These stories shape how we think about gender, sexuality, and morality. By examining these narratives, we can uncover the values and assumptions that underlie social norms and challenge them where necessary. Major economic shifts such as industrialization, globalization, and the rise of the service economy have transformed women's roles. These changes have created new opportunities and challenges, altering the balance between marriage, sex work, and other forms of economic participation. Access to education has been a game changer for women, opening up new possibilities and reducing economic dependence on men. Education empowers women to make informed choices, pursue careers, and participate fully in society. This shift has had profound effects on the sexual marketplace and social norms. Family structures have evolved alongside changes in women's roles. From extended families to nuclear households and beyond, the ways in which people organize their lives reflect broader social and economic trends. These changes influence everything from childrearing to inheritance, shaping the future of society. Power and autonomy are central themes in the history of women's roles. Whether as ladies, prostitutes, or something else entirely, women have always sought ways to assert control over their lives. The struggle for autonomy continues today as women push for greater equality and self-determination. Men have played a significant role in shaping the sexual marketplace and women's options. As providers, partners, and gatekeepers of social norms, men's choices and attitudes have influenced the evolution of both marriage and prostitution. Understanding this dynamic is essential for a complete picture of gender relations. Looking ahead, the roles of ladies and prostitutes will continue to evolve in response to social, economic, and technological change. New forms of relationships, work, and identity are emerging, challenging old assumptions and creating new possibilities. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear: women's agency and autonomy will remain central themes. Summarized, the historical roles of ladies and prostitutes were shaped by economic dependence, social norms, and the absence of birth control. These roles offered different freedoms and constraints, with neither being inherently better. The interplay between competition and interdependency maintained a delicate balance in the sexual marketplace, influencing the evolution of women's roles over time. Reflecting on these changes helps us appreciate the progress that has been made and the challenges that remain. By understanding the historical context, we can better navigate the complexities of modern relationships and continue working toward greater equality and freedom for all. As we conclude this exploration, consider how these historical roles continue to influence our lives today. The conversation is ongoing and there is always more to learn. Stay curious, keep questioning, and join us as we continue to explore the intersections of history, economics, and gender. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history, economics, and the roles of women. As society continues to change, so too will the options and opportunities available to women. By staying informed and engaged, we can all contribute to a more equitable and inclusive future.